It is the Elevator, Jarela De Jesus and super rookie Eliza Valdez warming up for their matchup against the defending champions, the De La Salle University Lady Spikers, who are focused on attaining this sweep, this 14-0 sweep. And according to our good friend and hard-working sports journalist Theodore Jurado, the last time that a sweep was achieved here in the UAP was by La Salle in 2004. Sila Chi Saet, Ila Santos, among the other members of that team. So let's see if La Salle can duplicate that feat last achieved in 2004.
That was actually the last year that I played.
Oh.
2004. I just gave away my age, right?
Yeah, why were you so quiet about it?
I just gave away my age. I was thinking.
So what was the feeling of, since we're already in that topic, what was the feeling of sweeping?
I knew that it was...
Or hindi, kasi mamaya, di ba, merong pagkakataon ng mga players ng La Salle. Is there any pressure na, nako, baka hindi na naman natin ma-sweep? Because the past 3 years, they had an opportunity to sweep, but they weren't able to achieve it, di ba?
Actually, it could work both ways. You're pressured to sweep the entire tournament, but at the same time, you're given that luxury to... I'm not saying that it's good for you to think that you can drop a game, but you know that even if you drop one game, you're still safe. But I think one of the biggest risks there is, you know, a team being complacent, very relaxed just because you're up and you haven't lost any game. Yung kumpiyansa mo is really there, and you tend to just, you know, not take things for granted, but just really be complacent in the game. Sobrang relax ka na, you end up committing a lot of errors.
Remember, just 2 seasons ago, La Salle was 13-0 going up against UST in the final game of the elimination round. Tapos natalo sila sa UST. So that memory is still in the minds of some of the players that were a part of that team. Let's go now to this huddle.
Magandang session. Okay, next. Kailangan i-figure out naman natin kung bata ma-create ng point. Okay, so mangyayari lang. Dalawa strikers natin ngayon. Diba? Dito mo nangyayari. Kapag tama yung magbibigay sa inyo set, ang mangyayari, ang laki ng middle nila na area. So pwede tayo mag-drop ball kasi hindi mo paluin. Expected yan papaluin mo. Save din sa'yo, Pao. Okay, so pagpaluin mo sa likod ng blocker, or papaluin mo sa side, drop mo mabilis sa side lang. Okay? Pwede first ball. Pwede tayo first ball.
UP just trying their best to stay positive here, but as we mentioned a while ago, that has been the problem for UP. One of their main problems the entire season is their inability to stay composed when they go down big. They're not very good at playing from behind. We see the power from Araneta, and she gives her squad a point.
Southland Ramos now moves to the front line.
I also learned from Coach Jarod Hobalde this season that this UP squad only practices 3 times a week.
They do. They don't, unlike the other teams here who would probably train every day, even on weekends, or some actually even train twice a day, if I'm not mistaken, at you know, at some point in the year.
Because ang mga estudyante daw ng UP, their student athletes, talagang they really focus on their studies and they give way to their academics. So itong sports is just a second priority. But do you think that it could have been different, or it could be different if UP finally decides that they could allow their players here in the volleyball team to practice more than just 3 times?
I think it would make a big difference, of course. If you look at the other teams, if you look at the teams with the likes of La Salle and Ateneo, these teams train daily, and probably one good example is Ateneo. Ateneo from the beginning, they haven't gotten themselves any championships, but we've seen how over the years the team has really improved. They've become a much stronger team that they have ever been, and now they're at the the best standing that they've ever had. They're currently number 2, and credit this also to you're training really hard over the past years.
And of course, when you install a volleyball program that is led by one of the best volleyball coaches that our country has ever seen, Coach Roger Gorayev, that really helps. And this is the year for Ateneo to try and get over the hump. So far, I think they have been successful in getting over the hump, and they have taken their place as one of the top teams here in the UAAP Women's Volleyball Tournament.
That's right. If you look at the squad, you wouldn't really... If you look at NU, you'd see that this is a tall lineup. If you look at LaSalle, you would say, oh, this is a tall lineup. UST for the past years has had a very tall lineup. But if you look at Ateneo, you would not even mistake the likes, for example, of Phil Cainglet. Hindi mo man lang iisipin na Ati. But when you look at them and you see them play inside the court, you will really be impressed at you know, how these girls have matured into the volleyball players that they are now.
And they have really grown under the tutelage of Coach Roger Gorayev, coming in at the same time talking about the likes of Phil Cainglet, Jem Ferrer, Z Hervasio, Gretchen Ho, and now this year recruiting an excellent two-time juniors MVP playing for UST in Eliza Valdez. So Ateneo also a force in the recruitment wars here in women's volleyball. And don't look now, UP still in this game after being down big early on here in set number 4, managing to cut this deficit to 5. Lucelle Byron pounding it off that double block. It is a breakthrough for her. Point for NU.